Hello and welcome along to the Met Office 10-day trend. You don't need me to tell you that October so far has been pretty wet, but looking forward to next week, it does look an awful lot drier. High pressure will be the dominant feature, it looks like. Not completely dry, still a few showers around. And of course, at this time of year when we have high pressure and light winds, well, that can mean fog and also frost. But it does look drier next week. The transition to that drier period will be over the weekend when high pressure starts to move in. Certainly this weekend will be a lot drier than last weekend, and there should be a fair bit of sunshine around as well, albeit with some showers and a cold wind blowing as well. Before we get there though, the rest of this week does look rather soggy. Fine for most this Wednesday, but more wet weather coming in overnight Wednesday night and lasting into Thursday. But there is a Met Office yellow weather warning in force for the rain that's sweeping in. Let's take a look at that first of all. Then the bigger picture shows low pressure swinging in, bringing that wet weather through the night and first on Thursday, slowly clearing away. Then a weather front swings south on Friday, bringing a band of heavy showers across the country. And then we start to see the northerly winds picking up behind that. And that's what will bring a real chill this weekend. A cold feel, but also high pressure is trying to edge in from the west. And it's that high pressure which will dominate and, as I say, bring a much drier weekend compared to last weekend. Why are we seeing the switch? Well, we need to look high up in the atmosphere at the jet stream for that. And at the moment, the current situation, rewinding back to the here and now, we've got a jet stream powering across the Atlantic, an active jet stream, and it's coming in almost as a direct hit across the UK. And we have this kind of position of a jet stream. We call it a zonal flow, and it can mean the weather patterns changing pretty frequently with low pressure after low pressure. But as we move forward, we see a change in shape of the jet stream. It becomes more amplified, it goes up and down, and by Saturday, look at that position, it's almost at 90 degrees compared to where we started. And this is called a more meridional pattern. And when we have this kind of pattern, a meridional pattern, well, the weather patterns become slow moving. And that's why we've got that high pressure just gradually edging in through the weekend. Now, actually, last weekend we had a meridional pattern and a slow moving pattern, but then we were stuck under low pressure, and that's why last weekend was so very wet. But this weekend it looks like high pressure will be the dominant feature. So this weekend, yes, it will be cold thanks to a brisk wind, certainly early on, and there will still be showers coming down in that northerly wind around the extreme east coast, the west coast as well, and on the north coast. But for many inland areas and on the south coast, it does look dry and bright for much of this weekend, albeit with a bit of a chill. Beyond that, well, as I said at the start, high pressure will dominate next week, but not for the whole week, because that high that comes in through the weekend doesn't stick around. It gradually topples away, and there's a weather front coming in for Monday that will bring some rain. Now, there's question marks about timing, as you'd expect this far ahead, but it does look as if most of us will see some rain on Monday from that weather front. Now, it's behind that we see another area of high pressure tending to topple in, and this one does look like it'll stick around and dominate through next week. So we are expecting high pressure to dominate, and this chart really shows that. This is the European model, the ECMWF probabilistic pressure pattern chart for next week. We've shown these before on the 10-day trends. If you remember, blue means low pressure and red or pink means high pressure is the most likely. And there's a lot of pink on that chart. Going down the y-axis, that's the previous model runs from previous days. So the top line there, that's the most recent run. And going along the top there, from left to right, are the next few days. So we start blue because we've got low pressure in charge over the next couple of days. And we see that switch. But notice the switch actually starts to happen on Friday, when there'll still be some showers around. So although high pressure is dominant, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be gloriously dry and sunny everywhere. It just means it'll be drier. And the position of the high pressure will really be key, especially at this time of year when we've got light winds overnight, the nights are getting longer, that can allow fog to stick around. And winds are one of the key shifters of fog, so if the winds are light under high pressure, fog can tend to stick around. So that's one of the things we'll be looking at next week. With high pressure in control, it does look drier, but the position of the high is key. And there will be low pressure either side of it, trying to push in from the east or from the west. So if the high is in this kind of position, there's still the likelihood of showers coming in across parts of the southeast and a cold northeasterly wind. If the high shifts a little bit further eastwards, then we could start to see weather fronts bringing showers into parts of the west. And all the while, in the centre of the high, yes, there will be plenty of dry and sunny weather, but there could also be some stubborn fog patches around as well. So the day-to-day detail for next week does depend on the exact position and shape of the high pressure. But overall, next week does look a lot drier than this week. We're pretty confident about that. Yes, there'll still be some showers and it'll still be on the chilly side, but generally a lot drier. Just need to be careful for some stubborn fog patches. And of course, with the nights getting longer, an increased chance of seeing some frost. For the day-to-day detail, make sure you keep up to date with everything on the Met Office by following us on social media.